The quantum radar arrays aboard Earth Defense Station Omega had never registered anything like it. Lieutenant Marcus Joe stared at his console in disbelief as the readings defied every known law of physics. The object approaching from the Kuiper belt was moving at impossible speeds, leaving ripples in spacetime itself. Director Patel to the command center immediately. Joe's voice cracked slightly as he broadcast the alert. Within minutes, Director Rajesh Patel limped into the room, his cybernetic leg whirring softly. The aging veteran had seen humanity through 12 years of brutal war against the Nexus Collective, but nothing had prepared him for this moment. "Report," Patel commanded, his dark eyes fixed on the main display screen. "Sir, we're tracking an object approaching from the outer system. It's using the USS Horizon's old transponder codes." The room fell silent. The Horizon's loss 3 years ago had marked the turning point in the war, when humanity realized they were hopelessly outmatched by the Nexus Collective's superior technology. The ship and its crew of 600 had vanished defending a civilian evacuation fleet, presumed destroyed in a quantum singularity. "Impossible," Patel whispered, but the data streaming across the screens told a different story. The object was massive, nearly twice the size of the original Horizon, its hull seeming to bend light around it in ways that made observers' eyes water. "Sir, we're receiving a transmission," announced Communications Officer Jun Nakamura, her fingers dancing across the holographic interface. "It's different. The carrier wave isn't anything I've seen before." Patel straightened his uniform, "Put it through." The voice that filled the command center was both familiar and alien, layered with harmonics that seemed to resonate with the station's very structure. "Earth Defense Station Omega, this is Captain Dante Rodriguez of the USS Horizon. We have returned." Patel's hands gripped the command rail. Rodriguez had been the Horizon's captain, a decorated veteran and personal friend. "This is Director Patel, Captain. Prove you are who you claim to be." A soft chuckle came through the speakers. "Remember that bottle of Macallan 25 we shared after the Battle of Proxima Centauri, Raj? You said it was too good to waste on a victory celebration, but we drank it anyway." Patel's face paled. "Dante, what happened to you? The Horizon was destroyed." "Not destroyed, old friend, transformed. We encountered something in the void between spaces, something that showed us possibilities we never imagined. We've come back because humanity needs us. The Nexus Collective is preparing their final assault." Security Chief Olivia Takeshie stepped forward, her hand instinctively near her sidearm. "Director, this could be a trap. The Collective has attempted to use psychological warfare before." Patel raised his hand for silence as the transformed vessel drew closer, now visible on the station's external cameras. The ship that appeared on the screen bore only a passing resemblance to the Horizon they had known. Its hull rippled like liquid metal, shot through with veins of energy that pulsed in complex patterns. Organic-looking structures had grown from its frame, giving it the appearance of a hybrid between a warship and a living organism. "We need to verify their identity," Patel decided. "Captain Rodriguez, if it's really you, you'll understand our caution. I'm dispatching our fastest reconnaissance vessel, the Starcatcher, to rendezvous with you at safe distance. Maintain your current position." "Of course, Raj, we expected nothing less, but time is short. The knowledge we gained in the void showed us what's coming. The Collective has been holding back, testing our defenses while they assembled their true invasion force. When it arrives, conventional defenses won't be enough." As the Starcatcher prepared for launch, Lieutenant Joe's console lit up with new alerts. "Sir, we're detecting quantum distortions at the edge of the system. Signature matches Nexus Collective patrol vessels." Rodriguez's voice took on an urgent tone. "They've detected us. Director, you need to make a decision quickly. We can protect the Starcatcher, but only if you allow us to demonstrate what we've become." Patel looked around the command center at his crew, seeing the mixture of hope and fear in their eyes. The war had pushed humanity to the brink of extinction. If this truly was the Horizon returned, it could change everything. But if it was a trap? "Starcatcher, proceed with the rendezvous," he ordered. "Captain Rodriguez, show us what you can do." The transformed Horizon began to move, its motion somehow fluid and precise simultaneously. As the Nexus vessels emerged from quantum space, energy cascaded along the ship's strange new hull. What happened next would change humanity's understanding of warfare forever. Commander Yuki Tanaka of the Starcatcher watched in awe as the transformed Horizon moved to intercept the Nexus Collective vessels. The ship's motion defied conventional physics, seeming to exist in multiple places simultaneously before resolving into a single position. The three Nexus warships, their crystalline hulls gleaming with deadly energy, opened fire with quantum-tipped missiles. What happened next challenged everything Tanaka thought she knew about space combat. The Horizon didn't dodge or attempt to shoot down the incoming missiles. Instead, the strange organic metallic growths along its hull pulsed with blue-white energy and the missiles simply ceased to exist. Horizon, this is Commander Tanaka, she broadcast. Request explanation of what we just witnessed. Captain Rodriguez's voice came through, still carrying those strange harmonics that made the bridge crew's skin tingle. The Void taught us about the nature of reality, Commander. Those missiles now exist in a probability state where they never launched, but perhaps it's better to show you, preparing for your arrival. Before Tanaka could respond, a beam of crystalline light extended from the Horizon's hull, creating what appeared to be a solid bridge of energy through space itself. If you're willing, Commander, walk across. Your suit's integrity will be maintained. Tanaka exchanged glances with her XO, Lieutenant Wei Zhao. Sir, Zhao said quietly, the readings from that energy construct are impossible. It's somehow maintaining atmosphere and artificial gravity. After receiving clearance from Director Patel, Tanaka made her decision. She sealed her helmet and stepped onto the bridge of light. The sensation was unlike anything she'd experienced, like walking on solid ground while floating in space simultaneously. As she approached the Horizon's hull, an opening appeared, flowing like liquid metal to create an entrance. The interior of the ship was even stranger than its exterior. Corridors shifted and reformed as she walked, responding to some unseen intelligence. The walls themselves seemed alive, pulsing with the same energy that ran through the ship's external structure. She found Captain Rodriguez waiting in what had once been the bridge but now resembled a hybrid of organic tissue and advanced technology. Rodriguez had changed as much as his ship. His skin was laced with the same energy patterns that coursed through the horizon, and his eyes held a depth that seemed to look beyond normal spacetime. Welcome aboard, Commander, he said, his voice clearer in person yet still carrying otherworldly undertones. What happened to you? Tanaka asked, unable to hide her mixture of awe and apprehension. Rodriguez gestured, and the space around them transformed into a three-dimensional representation of their experience in the void. When we were caught in the quantum singularity, we didn't die. We were transported to a place between dimensions, a realm inhabited by beings who transcended the distinction between organic and mechanical life eons ago. The display showed the original Horizon, crew dying from radiation exposure as the ship broke apart. Then it revealed something else. Vast crystalline entities that existed in multiple dimensions simultaneously, reaching out to the dying humans with an offer of transformation. They called themselves the Architects, Rodriguez continued. They had been watching our war with the Nexus Collective, seeing humanity's potential despite our technological limitations. They offered us a choice, die as we were or evolve into something that could save our species. How many survived the transformation? Tanaka asked, nodding the reduced crew presence on the bridge. 412 of the original 600, Rodriguez answered solemnly. Some died before the Architects reached us, others. Their minds couldn't accept the change. But those who survived are now something more than human. We're connected to the ship to each other in ways that transcend normal consciousness. As if to demonstrate, the remaining bridge crew appeared, emerging from walls that became transparent. Lieutenant Kenzo Yamamoto, former tactical officer, now moved like liquid mercury. Dr. Isabella Santos, the chief medical officer, seemed to phase in and out of reality as she walked. Each crew member bore the same energy patterns as their captain, their movements synchronized in subtle ways that suggested a deeper connection. The Architects gave us their technology freely, Rodriguez explained, but more importantly, they helped us understand the quantum nature of reality itself. We can perceive multiple timelines simultaneously, predict enemy actions before they occur, and manipulate the fundamental forces of spacetime. Tanaka watched as the Nexus vessels regrouped, preparing for another attack. And you're certain we need these abilities? Rodriguez's expression darkened. The Collective's main fleet is coming, Commander, 1,000 ships strong, led by their most advanced dreadnoughts. Without what we've become, Earth will fall within days of their arrival. The ship's sensors suddenly pulsed with urgent energy. Dr. Santos stepped forward, her form flickering slightly. Captain, we're detecting quantum distortions throughout the system. The collective is deploying quantum mines along all major approach vectors to Earth. How did they deploy them so quickly? Tanaka asked. They didn't, Rodriguez replied grimly. They planted them months ago, cloaked in quantum fields. We can see them now because we exist partially in the same dimensional space where they're hidden. He turned to Tanaka, his eyes glowing with inner light. This is just the beginning, Commander. The question is, will Earth's leadership accept what we've become in time to save humanity? Tanaka looked around the living bridge of the transformed vessel, understanding that she was witnessing either humanity's salvation or its next great challenge. Perhaps she realized it was both. The emergency council chamber deep beneath Geneva hummed with tension as Earth's military leadership debated the fate of humanity. Director Patel's hologram stood at the center of the room, presenting Commander Tanaka's report on the transformed horizon. Admiral Viktor Petrov, Supreme Commander of Earth's Combined Defense Forces, listened with growing concern as the details of the ship's metamorphosis were revealed. So we're expected to believe that not only has the horizon returned from the dead, but it's been upgraded by some benevolent interdimensional beings. General Diana Torres scoffed, her weathered face creased with skepticism. This reeks of collective manipulation. The ship's capabilities are real, Patel countered, his holographic form flickering slightly. We've verified their identity through multiple secure channels, and Commander Tanaka's bioscan confirms she encountered genuine human life forms, albeit altered ones. The massive display screen behind them showed the horizon neutralizing another collective probe, its strange new hull absorbing and redirecting energy weapons that would have vaporized any normal vessel. The ship moved with impossible grace, seeming to anticipate attacks before they occurred. If I may, a new voice interrupted. Dr. Nasir Patan, Earth's leading quantum physicist, stepped forward. The energy readings from the horizon match theoretical models of extra-dimensional interaction. Whatever changed them, it's beyond our current understanding of physics. Admiral Petrov raised his hand for silence. The timing is what concerns me. Just as they return warning of a massive collective fleet, our deep space arrays detect exactly that. It's too convenient. The chamber's security systems suddenly flashed red. Lieutenant Colonel Marcus Hayes burst into the room, his face pale. Sir, we're detecting quantum ruptures throughout the solar system. The collective fleet, they're already here. The main screen shifted to show hundreds of crystalline warships emerging from quantum space, their formation creating a web around Earth's major defense installations. Leading them was a massive dreadnought unlike anything they'd seen before, its hull crackling with enough energy to devastate continents. How did they get past our early warning systems? Torres demanded. They didn't. Rodriguez's voice filled the chamber as his hologram appeared, causing several council members to reach for weapons that would have been useless anyway. They've been here for weeks, cloaked in quantum fields beyond your ability to detect. We tried to warn you. Petrov's face hardened. This could still be a trap. You appear just before an invasion, claiming powers beyond human understanding. The chamber shook as the first collective strikes hit Earth's orbital defenses. Emergency reports flooded in from all sectors. Quantum torpedoes phasing through shields, defense platforms corrupted by alien code, ground installations targeted with surgical precision. We don't have time for debate, Rodriguez insisted. The collective isn't just trying to defeat humanity, they're trying to harvest us. Those dreadnoughts contain neural extraction chambers designed to process millions of human minds into their quantum computing networks. Dr. Patan's instruments began registering massive energy spikes. Admiral, they're targeting the planetary shield grid if those generators fall. Let us help, Rodriguez pleaded. The horizon can coordinate your defense forces in ways your current command and control systems can't match. We can see the quantum battlefield in real time, predict their attack patterns, and counter their technological advantages. Petrov looked at the tactical displays showing Earth's defenses crumbling under the assault. Decades of military experience warred with the instinct to reject something so far beyond human understanding. If this is a trap, then humanity dies anyway, Patel finished. But if they're telling the truth and we refuse their help, we've doomed our species through our own fear. The council chamber rocked again as another barrage struck home. Emergency sirens wailed throughout the underground facility. On the tactical displays, the massive collective dreadnought began powering up its main weapon, a quantum lance capable of piercing Earth's crust. Time's up, Admiral, Rodriguez said quietly. We're engaging whether you authorize it or not. The only question is whether we do this together or alone. Petrov looked around the room at humanity's leadership, seeing the same question in their eyes. Above them, the horizon moved into position, its transformed hull glowing with power that defied comprehension. In that moment, Petrov realized that humanity stood at a crossroads: embrace evolution or face extinction. God help us, he whispered, then straightened to his full height. Authorization granted, Captain Rodriguez, show us what you can do. The Horizon's response would redefine the nature of warfare itself, and with it, humanity's place in the cosmos. The transformed Horizon rose through Earth's atmosphere like an avenging spirit, its hull rippling with energies that bent light and space around it. In the council chamber, the tactical display showed the full scope of the collective's invasion. Over 800 warships arranged in a three-dimensional web around the planet, led by three massive dreadnoughts that pulsed with malevolent purpose. All Earth Defense Forces, this is Captain Rodriguez. The transmission rang across all frequencies. Coordinate your attacks with the quantum markers we're broadcasting. Don't try to understand how they work, just trust them. Glowing points of light appeared in the tactical display, marking seemingly random points in space. Earth's remaining ships and defense platforms adjusted their firing solutions accordingly, though few understood why. Now, Rodriguez commanded. The Horizon's hull flared with blinding intensity, and reality itself seemed to shudder. The collective's formation, previously impenetrable, suddenly became chaos. Ships found themselves firing into empty space as their targets appeared kilometers from their predicted positions. Quantum torpedoes meant for Earth's defenses phased back into normal space inside their own vessel's shields. The Horizon danced through the battle like a creature of pure energy, existing in multiple locations simultaneously before resolving into killing positions. Impossible, Dr. Patan whispered, watching his instruments. They're manipulating probability itself, shifting between quantum states at will. Lieutenant Kenzo Yamamoto's voice came through the command channel, oddly harmonious. The architects showed us that reality is more fluid than humans understand. What you see as solid matter and fixed laws are simply the most common probability states. We've learned to suggest alternatives. The massive collective dreadnought fired its quantum lance, a beam of pure destruction that should have pierced Earth's remaining defenses. Instead, the Horizon intercepted it, its transformed hull absorbing the energy. Where the beam struck, the ship's surface transformed into crystalline formations that grew and shifted like living things. Their weapons are based on quantum manipulation, Dr. Isabella Santos explained, her form flickering between multiple states as she analyzed the attack. But we exist partially in the quantum realm now. Their technology can't harm us in the same way anymore. The Horizon's response was devastating. Tendrils of energy extended from its hull, each one finding a quantum weak point in the collective's shields. Ships began to break apart, their quantum cores destabilizing as probability itself turned against them. Some vessels simply ceased to exist, shifted into timelines where they had never been constructed. They're adapting, Rodriguez warned, as the remaining collective ships began to coordinate their attacks differently. The hive mind is learning from each engagement. The two remaining dreadnoughts moved into position, their combined energy readings threatening to overwhelm even the Horizon's enhanced capabilities. That's when humanity's defenders showed their true strength. All Earth forces, Admiral Petrov commanded, execute Protocol Omega. Give the Horizon everything we've got. Every remaining defense platform, ship, and ground-based installation directed their power to the transformed vessel. The Horizon's organic mechanical hull absorbed the energy, incorporating it into its structure. The ship grew larger, its new formations becoming more complex and beautiful in their deadly purpose. Thank you for trusting us, Rodriguez said softly. Now let us show you what humanity can truly become. The Horizon's form shifted again, but this time it was different. The ship seemed to exist in all possible configurations simultaneously, creating a pattern that hurt human eyes to observe. Dr. Patan's instruments registered energy readings that broke every known law of physics. They're attempting to retreat, Yamamoto reported as the collective ships began emergency quantum jumps. But they don't understand what we've become. The Horizon released its accumulated energy in a wave that rippled through spacetime itself. When it passed, the collective fleet was simply gone, not destroyed, not shifted, but removed from probability itself. Only the Horizon remained, its hull slowly settling back into a form that human minds could comprehend. In the council chamber, silence reigned. The tactical displays showed clean space around Earth for the first time since the battle began. Admiral Petrov finally found his voice. What did you do to them? We showed them a truth they weren't ready to accept, Rodriguez replied, his voice carrying an echo of power that would forever change humanity's understanding of its own potential. That humanity's greatest strength isn't our technology or our weapons, but our ability to adapt, to evolve, to become more than we are. As the horizon descended back through Earth's atmosphere, its hull still shifting with impossible energies, humanity faced a new reality. They had survived the collective's assault, but the price of victory was the knowledge that they could never return to what they had been before. The question now was, what would they choose to become? 3 days after the battle that changed everything, the horizon hovered above Earth's lunar base Alpha, its transformed hull casting strange shadows on the moon's surface. Inside the base's main conference chamber, Captain Rodriguez stood before the assembled leaders of humanity, his enhanced form a living testament to what humans could become. The collective will return, he said, his voice carrying those otherworldly harmonics that still made some listeners uncomfortable. Not today, not tomorrow, but they will come, and next time they'll be prepared for what we are now. Director Patel leaned forward in his chair, his cybernetic leg reflecting the shifting lights from Rodriguez's energy-infused skin. Then we need to be prepared as well. The question is, what exactly are you proposing? Rodriguez gestured, and the chamber's holographic systems responded instantly, creating a three-dimensional model of the solar system. Within it, quantum probability streams flowed like rivers of light, showing possible futures branching out in endless patterns. The architects didn't just save us, he explained. They showed us a path forward. Humanity stands at a crossroads. We can remain as we are, bound by the limitations of conventional physics and biology, or we can embrace transformation. Dr. Patan stepped forward, his scientific curiosity warring with caution. You're talking about applying your transformation to other ships, other crews. More than that, Lieutenant Yamamoto appeared beside Rodriguez, his form shifting between states. The architect's gift isn't limited to space travel. Their understanding of quantum mechanics, of the very fabric of reality, could revolutionize every aspect of human civilization. Dr. Santos materialized next, her presence causing the quantum sensors in the room to spike. Imagine medical technology that could cure any disease by shifting the patient to a probability state where they were never ill. Agricultural systems that could end world hunger by optimizing crop growth across quantum possibilities. Energy production that draws power from the probability space itself. Admiral Petrov stood, his weathered face grave. And weapons that could erase entire fleets from existence, power that could rewrite reality itself. How can we trust ourselves with such capabilities? The same way humanity has always dealt with technological advancement, Rodriguez replied. With wisdom, with care, and with the understanding that evolution isn't just about power, it's about responsibility. The chamber fell silent as images of the battle played across the holographic display. The horizon's impossible maneuvers, its manipulation of quantum states, the final devastating wave that had removed the collective fleet from probability itself. There's something else you need to understand, Rodriguez continued. The architects didn't choose us randomly. They've been watching humanity for centuries, seeing in us something unique among the spacefaring races they've encountered. What's that? General Torres asked, her earlier skepticism tempered by what she'd witnessed. Adaptability, creativity, the ability to face the unknown and not just survive it but grow from it. The collective seeks to harvest minds to expand their quantum computing network. Other races they've encountered either fought and died or surrendered and were absorbed. Humanity is the first species they've found that could potentially match them in evolutionary potential. Commander Tanaka, who had remained quiet throughout the discussion, finally spoke. You said the transformation wasn't successful for everyone in your crew. What happens if we try this on a larger scale and it goes wrong? Any evolution has its risks, Rodriguez acknowledged. But standing still, remaining unchanged while the galaxy evolves around us, that's a greater risk. The architects showed us countless probable futures. In those where humanity refuses to evolve, the collective eventually returns with overwhelming force. In others, the holographic display shifted, showing visions of transformed ships sailing through quantum space, of cities that existed in multiple probability states simultaneously, of humans who had learned to surf the waves of reality itself. We're not asking everyone to transform immediately, Dr. Santos added. What we're proposing is a gradual process. Let us teach you. Let us show you how to take the first steps toward what humanity could become. Admiral Petrov exchanged glances with the other leaders. And if we refuse? Then the horizon will stand guard alone, Rodriguez said simply. We'll protect Earth as best we can for as long as we can, but eventually the collective will find a way to counter us. They're already adapting, already learning from their defeat. One ship, no matter how advanced, cannot stand against the combined might of a civilization that spans probability itself. Director Patel stood, his artificial leg whirring. Perhaps there's a middle ground. We begin with volunteers, with careful observation and documentation. We learn from the Horizon's crew, understand what they've become before we commit to larger-scale transformation. Rodriguez smiled, the energy patterns in his skin pulsing with approval. That's why the architects chose humanity, Director. Because even facing something that challenges everything you believe about reality, you seek to understand rather than simply accept or reject. As the meeting concluded, Commander Tanaka watched the transformed crew of the Horizon through new eyes. They were no longer simply returned comrades or potential threats, but glimpses of what humanity might become. The stars visible through the base's dome seemed to shine differently now, as if the very act of understanding quantum probability had changed how she perceived the universe. The Horizon's return hadn't just saved Earth from one invasion, it had opened a door to humanity's next great evolutionary leap. Whether they would step through that door, and what they might become if they did, was a choice that would echo through every probable future that lay ahead.